active citizens.
Today we're going to be making a cake, and we're going to teach you everything you need to put in it to be an active citizen.
So you may be asking yourself, what exactly does being an active citizen look like? There are three main components that go into being an active citizen. First off is your civic rights, which is represented by this, which is security. There are three main parts of civic rights: equality and liberty, as well as security. Security is protection from the government, so we're using this to put into our cake. Equality, which is equal treatment under law. And then liberty, which is the rights one are guaranteed under the Constitution. Civic duties is the second main component. Civic duties will be displayed by this laws and rules. Your civic duties are obeying laws, paying taxes, defending the nation, serving in court, and attending school. Now, the last and least thing that goes into being an active citizen is civic responsibility, which the main one is being informed and voting. Which is also, you also have to participate in community and the government, and respect rights and properties of others, and respect different opinions and ways of life. So, we just put in the three main components that go into being active citizenship. We still have many more ingredients that must be used to bake our cake. So let's stir this up really quick.
Alright lads, something else to do with being an active citizen are core democratic values, which are the fundamental beliefs and constitutional principle of American society which unites all Americans. So we got life, which is a person's right to live, cannot be violated unless threatened. So then we got life cereal to represent that. We got liberty, personal, political, and economic freedom, which is, we got economic freedom, money, and personal freedom, sprinkles. Yes. And we got justice. All people should be treated fairly. Equal is not fair, and fair is not equal, which is represented by this fire Hot Wheels car. Police car.
Police car, by the way.
Along with those three, we also have truth, which is the expectation that we can trust in our government not to lie to us, and that is represented by honest aid.
Sure.
And we also have equality, which is everyone has the right to political, legal, and social and economical equality, which is represented by these here starbursts.
Now these are not the only CDVs that we have, but these are the only CDVs that we deem are most important among all 10 of them.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Abe Lincoln.
This is going to be good. Part of being an active citizen is knowing the three branches of government. First, the legislative branch. This is from the Great Compromise. It's a bicameral house that has two houses. First, the House of Representatives, which is brought by the Virginia plan. And second, the Senate, from the New Jersey plan.
What exactly does the legislative branch do?
The Article 1 gives them the ability to create laws and powers from the Constitution. They have a total of 535 members, 100 from the Senate and 435 from the House of Representatives.
Interesting.
We have these here noodles. See them noodles? There's 535 of them to represent all the members of the legislative branch to add to our cake. So I'm going to stir that down. 534.
Know that? There we go.
I got it.
Now, the second branch of government that you should know about is the executive branch. The executive branch consists of mostly the president. In Article 2 of the Constitution, it states that executive power shall be vested in the president. The duties of the executive branch is to execute or carry out laws passed by the legislative branch. There are three rules that you must be to be a president. You must be 35 years or older. You must have to be a native-born citizen in the U.S., and you must be a resident in the U.S. for 14 years.
Homegrown.
A president is elected by the Electoral College. There are 8 main
Roles of
the president that he must obtain. There are 3 chiefs, 3 leaders, and 1 state. We won't get into that because we don't really need that ingredient in our cake. But the executive branch is here represented by Donald Trump playing cards. As
Donald J. Trump.
He is the president of the United States right now.
Currently.
Twist it. Yes, sir. This not gonna be too.
The third branch of government is the judicial branch. This deals with legal conflict. There is criminal, legal measures passed down by a legislative body to provide welfare in society, and provide punishments. And there's civil, legal measures between two private parties in the government. The Judicial Act of 1789 created a dual court system.
It also created jurisdiction, which is the right to rule.
Which is limited by the court hierarchy and its type of case. There's 3 levels of the courts. District, every state has at least one original jurisdiction. Witnesses testify and juries decide guilty or not guilty. Circuit, judges only uphold or reverse. And Supreme,
3.
the highest court in the land. 8 associates, 1 chief justice, and judges only judges rule constitutional or unconstitutional. And we have Santa here to represent
The judge.
the judge. Determines if you're naughty or nice.
And judges decide if you're guilty or not guilty.
Or constitutional or unconstitutional.
I do a cake right at the Santa, but we don't need the chocolate.
Yeah, throw that away. But
We just need a sample.
That's disgusting. Chocolate's nasty.
Did you actually throw it?
Another component to being an active citizen is political interest groups, or PIGs.
Pigs.
Political interest groups are people that seek to influence other people. They do this by lobbying, research and policy proposals, litigation, and by holding rallies from locals or to gain support from locals. This PIG started with Federalist Paper Number 10, written by Madison. The main goal of PIGs is to get candidates to support their interests. We have these bacon bits to represent the pigs.
aggressive.
Dude, you're gonna get Santa kicked out of this thing.
This looks delicious, bro.
Not gonna lie.
Leave some of that life.
You stop eating our cake, though. Another component of being an active citizen is knowing about the Constitution and the principles of it. The Constitution was written by Thomas Jefferson. It's a group who met in secret. It's a 2-house government. It's a supreme law of the land. It establishes federalism, the nation's goals and principles. It includes the preamble, articles, and amendments, and also the Bill of Rights. There are 3 layers of the Constitution that include federal, state, and local. This way. We have to include our Constitution and our ingredients for our cake.
Now, being an active citizen, you should also know about these two of the main figures in our nation's past. John Locke and Baron de Montesquieu. Now, Montesquieu wrote Spirit of the Laws. He basically influenced the American Constitution indirectly. He came up with the idea of separation of powers and created the 3 branches of government. We have a little Lego man to represent Montesquieu. Our second person is John Locke. John Locke wrote the second treatise of government. He came up with the idea of the separation of church and state. Created popular sovereignty, which also created the natural rights. Popular sovereignty is the power of the government comes from people, so basically voting and that stuff. He influenced the Declaration of Independence. And we have a little
Cool.
hunting guide to represent John Locke.
For our cake.
Jack, do you want to pour?
Now that we have all of our ingredients,
No, I
we're
got-
going
I
to
got-
pour them
I got-
into our pan. Beautiful.
And to tie everything together, you
Now
got
make sure it's flat in
water.
there.
Gotta add a
Add a
liquid.
little bit of water, so that way it's not all just sitting there.
Add liquid to make the cake moist. No one makes a dry cake.
Draw that course. Calls a jump shot.
We now have to put our yummy cake into the oven. That's the wrong one. Bake for 2 hours at 400 degrees. We'll come back in a little bit to see how it shows.
2 hours later.
After about 2 hours, you gotta come back and check on it. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
Perfect.
Look at that.
Dude, no way.
Active citizenship.
Voila.
And that, my friends, is what it takes to become an active citizen. If you follow these steps and guidelines, you'll be a great active citizen, just like our cake turned out if you had the right ingredients.
Thank you so much for your time for watching. I'm sure you want your time back though.
See you next time on Baking with Active Citizens.
Cut.